All my meanings are coming together. I don't know. La 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 la. Good morning, everybody. All of my meanings are coming together. Good morning, everybody. How are you, man? Today is April Fool's, April 1st. April 1st in the year 2024. Is this live or is this an April Fool's joke? I don't know. Fascism in America. Fascism. I see fascism everywhere, says the councilwoman from New York. We're going to take a look at it. I see fascism. It's everywhere. There's fascists in the flag. 9/11 is fascist. The heroes. The heroes. Remember the heroes? Remember the heroes? Hey, how you doing? Welcome to the program. Happy Monday to you. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Hey. Welcome, everybody. Welcome in the chat. Andy Garcia's here. Vinny Martini. Born Annoying is back. What's up, man? Good morning, team. So, yeah, fascinating story. I'll give myself a hand for that. Fascinating story breaking in the New York Post about a woman. She's a councilwoman, right? And she says there's a flag, right? We've seen throughout 9/11, we saw the flags, the beautiful... hold on one second. I don't want to drop this. So beautiful flags flying everywhere, patriotism, a revival of some sort of... what it means to be American, right? But 22 years later, the flag, that beautiful flag with the red stripe through it, that was placed there to honor fallen heroes, fallen firefighters, and fallen service workers, is now considered fascist by the New York City Council, if you can imagine how it spun into fascism. So we're going to look at it. Maybe it is fascist. Maybe it is fascist to use an American flag for, I don't know, for a statement. So look, if the red line through the American flag is in fact fascist, it also says that any alteration of the American flag can be perceived as fascist. Why has the American flag, become so perfect all of a sudden, right? For such a long time, the flag was frowned upon. But anyway, we're going to look at this fascinating subject about fascism in a flag. And you tell me if you see fascism. I looked at the flag quite a bit, and I just can't see it. But the good councilwoman in New York City sees fascism. And a particular fire department was ordered to take the flag down, if you can imagine. Take it down. I see fascism. It's a political statement. That was the other argument they made, that when you integrate anything, if you integrate something into the American flag, that in effect is fascism. Maybe that's why my flag over here. I had been using my other logo. Remember my logo? I had this logo. This logo right here. Remember this logo, right? Maybe that's the problems that I'm having, right? Because I use an American flag, and there's this long-haired guy with no mouth, not even a big mouth, but no mouth. Some people see my logo as fascist, right? Fascist, right? So we're gonna look at this. What the fuck are you talking about? Fascism? You mean like Hitler and Mussolini, right? Those guys? That's who you're talking about? The firemen are suddenly fascist. So we'll look at this. We'll look at this subject. Weevil Girl in the house. Good morning, Weevil Girl. Andy Garcia is here as well. everybody's here. And so that's my thumbnail today. I see fascism. There she is. Her name is Carlina Rivera, Democratic Manhattan Councilwoman. Fascinating, right? She ordered, allegedly, her office ordered the flag in an East Village fire department. She ordered it down. She was questioning it. She didn't actually order it, but she was questioning why. Now, remember, the council, city council in New York is responsible for funding such places as a fire department. So the fire department has to be very nice. If they piss off the confused Miss Rivera about what she sees, then they might not get their money to function as a fire department, right? So they got to be very careful what they say to the very, very delicate, very, very fragile person here who sees fascism in a flag. So we'll look at that subject. My name is Marcus Conte. I have a website every morning at 9 a.m. This is the morning report, 9 a.m. to whenever. And Monday through Thursday here in the United States of America, Eastern Standard Time, every morning. We're here, and it was a beautiful weekend, Easter Sunday. It was nice, relaxing, very relaxing for me. It was almost like comatose, right? Because I didn't see any real Easter festivities in my immediate circle because I don't know, I don't celebrate Easter. I don't have kids running around, with Easter eggs. But I didn't attend any churches, although I sometimes do. I'll go to I like a good church on a Sunday morning. It's fun, right? Listen, you go in there and the preacher tells you you've been forgiven of all your sins, right? I walked into a church one time early in the morning and just a random church. And the preacher says, "Welcome, everyone. Jesus has forgiven you of all of your sins. You're free." And I said to myself, that's a nice thing to say to people. People need to know that they're not bad. Right? They're not necessarily bad people. Right? They're just humans, and people are prone to error. But anyway, but I didn't do any of that on Easter Sunday. I just kind of vegetated out, did a little bit of walking, and lots of meditation. It's the first time I've spoke, I think, and since the last time I saw you. I stay very quiet during the weekend sometimes. I like that. I like to be quiet. I like to be in thick social settings, but quiet and listen. Right? It's a skill. Right? When you listen, you look, when people are in social settings, they're very, very they want to speak. They want to be heard. That's what most people want to do. They want to talk. You get in a social setting and there's more than one person. Suddenly there's somebody else, and you want to tell them everything about you and your mind, and why the fire department in New York City is fascist because of their flag. Right? You want to tell people that. Maybe you should not talk at all and learn a little bit. Andy Garcia says, so what if she sees anything? City council can pound sand and gnaw fire department at odds with council all the time. Definitely. I don't know what you're trying to say there, Andy, but I hear you. That's the funds. They'll stop funding. That's true, too. That's how the council, city council uses their power, because they have to sign off on the budget, the city budget. And if they don't like you, and if they deem your place of fascism, then you'll get screwed. You won't get your money. So what do you got to do? You got to shut up. All right. We'll look at this subject. It is fascinating. The fire department, I think they broke one rule, in that there is a rule about altering flags, American flags. There's also in law enforcement, there are very strict rules about uniform. You can't spin the uniform. You can't say, "Oh, I'm going to wear a pink uniform today." No, you got to wear the fucking dark blue uniform like everybody else. So there is a uniformity to law enforcement, and to have altered that for whatever reason, right? The fire department is saying it's to represent the 6 people, 6 firemen who died on September 11, 2021. That's their reasoning. But some people see that as empowering, I guess, the fire department, empowering government, and that makes it fascist, right? Now, if it weren't for the councilwoman calling and saying that it's a political statement, so I'll get into it in a second. I'm jumping ahead. Weevil Girl points out the blue line flag. Right, exactly. The blue line flag is the one that was in response. Blue line flag was in response to the George Floyd Black Lives Matter riots, where the police department were honoring their own struggles and their own people getting crushed by these radicalized citizens, screaming and yelling something about racism, something about police brutality. Right. And they came up with a flag, but the fire department, what did the fire department do? A bunch of kooks knock down a building, fly their planes into the White House, and their soldiers, their people, their workers got killed, and so they create a flag for it. Right? They could have used a different flag, they said. So we're gonna look at this. So let's look at. We're trying to understand law and order. Law. I have a website. You could fund this program through Patreon. My brain is just starting to kick in right now. So it's been a long weekend, and it's through Zelle. You can fund it if you want. Let's look at this fascinating human being, Donald Trump. Right, nobody else is invited. Right, there was a fallen NYPD officer. He got shot at a routine stop. He stopped somebody, and he says, "Get out of the car," and the guy gets out of the car and shoots him. Right, or something like that. I don't remember the exact details of the crime, but it was horrific. It was just another cop shot, right, over nothing. Right? So. Most of the time, you'll see politicians, they stay clear of these things, but not Donald Trump. Watch the respect. Watch what law enforcement. Now, you might see fascism in this right here. Is this fascism? A police officer gets killed by some psychopath in a routine stop, and is this fascism or is this American? Is this Americanism? Is this far right or far left? Try to see what you see when you watch this. Clip, right? See what you see. Right? Let's see what we say. Raise your hand if you see fascism. You see fascism yet? Does anybody see fascism? I see blue ties, blue. Whoa! Is that part of the uniform? Yes, it is. Everything is in conformity with the uniform. There's no funny little patches or nothing. They're back in uniform completely. Fallen soldiers, fuck you. We can't talk about you right now. So this is the funeral for fallen soldier, Jonathan Diller. Jonathan Diller, and guess who shows up? Guess who shows up? A politician. A politician. He was welcome. Donald Trump was welcome there. See what he says.
Thank you very much, everybody. I want to thank Bruce and all of the people that have worked so hard to make this area beautiful and safe. And this is what happened. Is such a sad event, such a horrible thing, and it's happening all too often. And we're just not going to let it happen. We just can't. 21 times arrested this thug, and the person in the car with him was arrested many times. And they don't learn.
So predicate criminals who killed a cop. Right? He's wearing a red tie. That shit is a political statement, man. He can't be wearing a fucking. How's he wearing? This guy's got a flag on his lapel. Is he a cop? Is that a uniform? Right? That's what you start doing, like criticizing everybody's. You see it. You see what you want to see, right? Does anybody see fascism yet, or do they see? I see an ex-president. Standing in front of NYPD who have great respect for Trump because he's a New Yorker and he always showed respect for them. even as president, and never was. That's what I see so far.
Because they don't respect. They're not given the respect. The police are the greatest people we have. There's nothing and there's nobody like them, and this should never happen. I just visited.
They are great people, and there is nothing like them. However, they do step over the line sometimes, Mr. Trump. Sometimes, right? Sometimes they do. Sometimes they get so full of themselves, and they need to be put in check, and that's fine, right? That's just human nature, right? We empower them, and then they get too powerful, and you got to unpower them just a little bit, right? Just a little bit. Like in the case of the George Floyd choking. A lot of people still say that George Floyd was some drug addict. They had to kill him because he was on fentanyl, and he was going to kill them. Some people believe that. When you watch the video, what do you see? You see a guy who's a little high, and he's a little rowdy, and the police wrestle him to the ground. 3 of them, they're holding him down. They choke him to death. Right? 9 minutes later, the foot's still on the throat. They kill the guy. Right. So that was an example of, death by cop. Right. If you care to look at the evidence, the video. Right. That's just one example. I mean, that's just. That's one small example of that's like one fraction of 1,100,000% of what the police do in their daily job. Right? That happens rarely. Right? Most police officers in New York are extremely pleasant. They're just, if you're not breaking the law, you can walk up to any cop anywhere and say hello, and they'll talk to you. They'll be like, "Hey, how you doing?" Right? But anyway.
With a very beautiful wife that now doesn't have her husband. Stephanie was just incredible. Their child, brand new, beautiful baby, sitting there, innocent as can be. Mm-hmm. Doesn't know how his life has been changed. But the Diller family you'll never be the same. You can never be the same.
Why? Do you know why Joe Biden isn't at an event like this? You know why Joe Biden isn't at an event like this? Or AOC is not at an event like this? Because they're not welcome there. Joe Biden can't go to an event like this. Eric Adams, the mayor, he's invited to an event like this, but people like Joe Biden can't go there. They'll get booed, and it'll turn into a circus. But Trump, no, steady hand, law enforcement. There's no fucking outrage. There's no carrying on. Do you hear any nonsense going on while Trump is there? Do you hear any bullshit going on in the background? Black lives matter. What do we want? Black lives matter. You're all racist. You're all fascist. Take down your flag. Take down your statue. Because we're young and we're here and we're black and we're gay and fuck you. Yeah, that's what you hear. You don't hear any of that while Trump is talking.
And we have to stop it. We have to stop it. We have to get back to law and order. We have to do a lot of things differently because this is not working. This is happening too often. Black Lives Matter. It's an honor to be here. And again, I want to just thank all of you folks for allowing this. And Bruce, thank you. Bruce has been a friend of mine for a long time. He's done an incredible job out here. But this is such a
This is fascism. This is what respect of country, I see. Respect of law and order. Respect of look, fire. I got news for you. A lot of cops are family guys. They play softball on Sunday with their friends, and they go to their kids' fucking baseball games on Saturday, and they eat dinner with their kids, and their kids are worried about them, and they're married, and they have pensions, and they own homes, and they're long-time residents of their areas. These are real people. Fire department is the same. They help people all day long. They go into the most dangerous, ugly, fucking demented situations, and people shoot at them while they're doing it. All right, so don't tell me that 99% of cops are fascists. It's not. It's stupid. It's stupid. And fire department. Can you even? That's beyond police. Is the fire department? How absurd! Because that's what we're talking about today. The red line, right? This is blue, but Trump, spectacular political statement, if you will. But he's there, and the police love him, and it's inescapable and undeniable what side they are on. Right?
Dedication.
Is that fascism in itself? Is it fascism because the police align with Trump? Well, we're going to look at the meaning of fascism because nobody even knows what it means anymore.
The only thing we can say is maybe something is going to be learned. We've got to toughen it up. We've got to strengthen it up. This should never be allowed. Things like this shouldn't take place, and to take place so often. So thank you all for being here.
Right, Obama and Clinton. Obama, Zoot Kuda points out, Trump acting presidential while Biden was playing Twister with Obama and Clinton. Right, they did a fundraiser, right, a big fundraiser for Biden, and both Obama and Clinton were there.
It's an honor, and it's an honor for me to be here. This is a great family, the Diller family. I met the friends, and I met every one of them inside, and these are just incredible people. That
All right, so there's President Trump looking very presidential. I'll talk about this in a second. I was going to get into the B. Let's just talk about B. Diddy for 1 second, right? Sean Puffy Combs, Mr. Combs. There is nothing here. Where am I lost the page. I lost the page shut down. All right, so let's just forget about that. I was going to talk about Sean Combs. There's nothing there, right? The Sean Puffy Combs fucking rapper guy that they broke down his door in Miami and in L.A. and contained him on the tarmac. There's nothing to this story. It's just a all out, fucking witch hunt on an uppity black guy who pissed somebody off. That's still what we're trying to get to the bottom of. There's a lot of names mentioned. Maybe I'll talk about it tomorrow because there's a lot to that story of why Sean Puffy Combs now. Why him? Why now? Right? We still don't know why. But anyway, let's get back to this. Fire Department New York firefighters forced to remove flag honoring 9/11 heroes after lefty poll questioned if it's a political statement. So it was removed not because it was fascist, but in the initial statements leading up to it, that's what it was alleged, that it was fascism. But is the fire department placing a red stripe across the American flag to honor its fallen dead? Is that a political statement? Really? How is it? How exactly is it a political statement? So let's hold that thought. Here they are. Here's the proud fire department, Company 11, that's in the East Village. I know it well. I know the block well. Fire department brass ordered an East Village ladder company to remove its red line American flag honoring the squad's 6 brothers killed on 9/11. 6 motherfuckers, 6 firemen got killed in one company. That's a lot because there's not a lot of guys in there, right? It's like half the house died on 9/11, right? Because they were in the East Village. They were very close to the fire. And they went down there, and they were some of the first people to get there. And what did they do? They went in first, and they started to enter the building, and it collapsed on them, right? So they were heroes, right? They've been heroes for 22 years. These guys are heroes. They're fucking celebrated. They're like royalty, right? When the fire department passes with their flag in the fire, everything goes quiet. There's people clap, people cheer the fire department, right? But now there's some jerk off in there that's saying that they're fascist, that they see fascism in dangling the flag. A shocking order, a politically charged symbol. Is it politically charged? No more than drinking Starbucks coffee is, or fucking, what else? They're not allowed to go to fast food. Wherever they eat is they're promoting. It's a promotion of something. There's no fascism here. There's no political charge here. It's just firemen. It's regular guys, right? And they came up with this idea to honor their fallen dead, right? And they twisted a flag and the flag itself is altered because it's not red, white, and blue. It's black and white and red, white, and black. So arguably, it's not an American flag at all. It just has elements of an American flag. The shocking order came March 2nd after a man claiming he was a staffer for the Democratic Manhattan Councilwoman Carlina Rivera. All right. The man who made this claim, turns out that he was not a staffer. He was just some guy who lives in the East Village, some radical black guy who saw fascism and complained to his councilwoman, who then turned around and wrote a relatively normal letter to the fire department. So the man pedaled up to the East 2nd Street firehouse, East 2nd, right? It's on 6th Avenue, on a bicycle, and told firefighters he worked for Rivera and that the councilwoman's office complained to the fire department 3 days earlier about the flag, which features a red stripe in tribute of firefighters injured or killed in the line of duty. All right. So a guy pedals up to the house, to the fire department, and tells whoever, "Why is that flag still up? It's fascist. Right? It's racist." Right? He called it a fascist symbol and demanded to know why it was still up. Right? So somebody rolls up. In a March 19th email to Fire Department Intergovernmental Affairs, Rivera staffer Rosario said the councilwoman's office was contacted by the, quote, constituent. So the jerk-off that complained is not right there, there's a lie in the story. He's just a guy who lives in the neighborhood. Twice violating the rules. All right, so he contacted the fire department twice about violating department rules. And there she is. There's the councilwoman. Her name is Carlina Rivera. All these people see fascism. No way. They're talking about housing. Right? But here she is attacking. Hey, wait a second. Why are you wearing a New York? Do you work for the councilwoman? Why are you wearing a New York Yankees hat? What about the Mets? What about the Knicks? What about the Rangers? You're a fascist, man. You're promoting on the job, man. See where you can't draw. Right? People have this does move in maybe to the area of First Amendment. However, the police are a uniformed squad, a uniformed team, and they can. I guess they're free to create their own uniforms, right? And they're free to improvise on those uniforms, I would imagine. But where does expression on the job, where do you draw the line, right? By what you wear. You wear a pink dress, that means you're pro-feminism. You wear a suit with a tie, that means you're masculine man, and you're against me. I think the moral of the story here is mind your own fucking business and stop worrying about what other people are doing and wearing, and just be yourself, right? That's what I think. The rule was implemented in 2020. Right. Here's the rule that they may have broke. Hours after the constituent left the firehouse, NYPD chief visited the firefighters there and reluctantly said the flag must come down because it violates a department prohibition of altered versions of American flag. Now, that's the fire department's rule. That's nobody else's rule. The fire department has a rule about alterations of the American flag. They can change that rule. It's up to the... So they broke a rule, but why the rule? Why now? It's not because they respect the flag. That guy is not saying, "Oh, you're altering the flag and you're breaking the rule because I love the flag." No, he's saying it because he sees it as a political statement, and he sees fascism. Right? He doesn't give a fuck about the flag. He sees something else. Right? That's what he sees. It's a tough one to understand, really. This is a tough subject to unpack, really. Shirella told the firefighters he agreed with them that it is ridiculous to remove the flag. Oh, man. It just gets thicker and thicker. The order sparked immediate outrage on social media with conservative Instagram influencers posting a photo of the said flag. Right. New York firefighters were forced to take down a memorial for those that died on 9/11. What happened to New York City, they say. So the good news in this story is that hours later, the now Commissioner Kavanaugh and Chief of Department John Hodgins reversed the decision and allowed the flag back on the trucks. So a lot to do about nothing. The flag is back up where it's supposed to be. We're happy with the outcome of this, but we're offended it happened in the first place, says the latter 11 firefighters. So the flag has huge significance to us. Ladder 11 displays its red line flag. This is according to them. What does the flag mean to them, the people who made the flag and put it up? It represents a memorial place card on the back of its fire truck honoring, quote, Lieutenant Michael Quilley and firefighter Michael Camarado, Edward Day, John Hefferman, Richard Kelly, Matthew Rogan, all of whom were killed responding to the World Trade Center attack on September 11, 2001. Councilwoman, that's what it means. That's what it means to them. There's no political statement. There's no fascism. There's no racism. There's no womanism. There's just a bunch of firefighters from New York City remembering their fallen fucking friends who it could have been them that day. Some of them are not old enough to have been there, right? But if they were, they'd be dead. That's what it represents. So now you know, according to them. Right? No, they're lying. They're just covering up. They're covering up their political fascism. The radical left will say, because they can't see anybody as being honest and integral, right? Because they're not honest or integral. They're fucking lost and emotionally broken. Yeah. How's everybody doing in the chat, man? Am I still here? I forgot. Weevil Girl in the house. Finity Martini. Sean Annan. What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? I'm getting a little slow start today, man. I feel a little bit of a clog in the engine. Anyway, but yeah. So there it is. There's the flag, and there's the fallen heroes. The 6 guys who died. They stuck that shit right up on the back of the truck. Those guys' names are on the back of the truck. Should that be illegal too? You can't put the names of dead people on the truck. Fuck you. Are they complaining about the plaque with the dead guys or just the flag with the red line? I see fascism. So what is fascism? Let's find out. So here's the thin line. Let's look again. Then we'll come back to the story. Red line, red line, red line. There he is. This is fascism in the modern age, according to certain council people, and you see this all over New York City, right? This is actually in New Jersey. It's got a New Jersey plate on it. That's funny. So there's a New Jersey plate with the flag that was adapted to honor a lot of. I imagine a lot of firefighters from New Jersey died that day too, because they too also showed up. Quite a few of them, because it's right over the water there, the Hudson River. And so fascism, what is it? What is fascism? So now we know what the left is accusing the fire department of: fascism and political statements. But there has not been any political statement being made. That's in their minds. They see it as, if you're not with me, I'm not doing that, so therefore you're against me, and I'm a Democrat, therefore you must be the other party. Right? That's how their mind operates. Right? The radicalized left. You're not with me. You don't represent me. Who are you? You're with those. You're with them. You're with them. Those people. Those horrible Trump MAGA fucking people. The Trump derangement syndrome. Right? Well, let's see. Let's see if it raises to that level. Fascism is a far-right, authoritarian, ultra-nationalistic political ideology and movement. Okay. Characterized by a dictatorial leader, centralized autocracy, militarism, forcible suppression of opposition, belief in a neutral society belief in a natural social hierarchy. A natural social hierarchy. Subordination of individual interests for the perceived, finish the statement, for the perceived good of the nation or race. And strong regimentation of society and economy. All right, so I just read the definition. Does anybody see that here? Does anybody see fascism in any of these images right here? Is this fascism? Even here, is this fascism? Is this the tyrannic leader? Right? Is this what they see? Right. It's a warped perception. Did I see Hitler? Hitler. It's fucking Hitler. So I asked Chat GPT, the great computer program, what fascism is. Fascism is a far-right authoritarian political ideology characterized by dictatorial power, extreme nationalism, suppression of opposition through force and censorship, and strong regimentation of society and the economy under a single party or dictatorial leadership. This is what she sees. I'm not seeing this. This is what the good councilwoman sees, her answering to her constituent and agrees and then reaches out to the fire department. Right? But she went, is it a political statement? Well, anything, let's look at fascism and then we'll talk about political statement. It often involves, well, let's rule out fascism. It often involves the glorification of the state, militarism, and subjugation of individual rights to interests of the nation or leader. So I asked for 3 examples. They gave me Nazi Germany. They gave me Mussolini and Francisco Franco of Spain, who all led military coups to overthrow the world. Right? The Nazi Germans believed that they were the chosen people. They were going to overthrow the entire populace under them and above them, just go after everybody and become the kings of the world, right? Like the Roman Empire. That's what the Nazis wanted to do. And so did Mussolini. Mussolini just says, it's not Germans, it's Italians that are going to rule the world. Italy is the chosen people. Fuck you, Germany. Fuck you, Japan. And at the same time, on the other side of the planet, the Japanese were seeing the same thing, except they saw themselves as the supreme leaders, the fascists. Right? The great country. Right? You know, America can be perceived as a fascist nation because of its power and its influence, but it's look, all countries share that default. Any company of power will be criticized as fascist. But what we're talking about is the internals of our great nation. This is purely cultural. This is a cultural problem if you're watching from abroad. This is an American culture problem of what it means to be American. To look at the American flag and see a line and perceive it as fascism. Right? What about other flags? What about, so that's the thin flag. What about this flag? What about this flag? What do you see? I see an American flag and I see some other flag. I see a rainbow with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 colors. Right? It's not integrated into the American flag, but it's flying side by side with the flag. Is that a political statement? Right? Is it? Now, if it's at someone's home, what difference would it make? What difference? What if it was hanging in front of a police station or some other public building? Would that make it a problem? Well, if hanging the American flag with the red stripe is violating some sort of public ordinance, right? Isn't hanging the gay flag in, say, I don't know, a school, for example, hanging it in a fucking, classroom in a school where kids are, isn't that also, using a public space to promote some sort of political ideology, some sort of political idea? It probably is. I think it is. Anyway, so it was a fucking gay flag. But it turns out, look at this, rainbow flags, pride flags, and other symbols celebrating LGBTQ pride are a protected form of free speech in school settings. So this one is protected free speech, right? But those dirty firemen over there, they're fascist. Right? That's fucking crazy, man. Here they see fascism. Right? Someone sees fascism here. We know who it is. And others, but then they look over here and they see free speech. They see, the pride of gay America. Right? Both are valid, right? Pride, come on, who could deny the pride movement of the 60s and the 70s in New York and in West Village? Gay men were getting bashed and beat up, and they stood up for themselves, and the violence and the confusion stopped, and they were even granted the right to not only be together but to marry, right? So don't tell me about is that fascism by gay men rising up? Hell fucking no. Do they have a right to swing a flag? They could swing whatever they want. Right? They earned it. They earned the right. But why are we targeting these fine firemen? I don't understand. What else? So it's we now learn, according to the ACLU, that it is legal and a protected form of free speech in school settings, in public settings. Let's just call it that, because that's the argument here. The fire department is public. Well, so is a school. And it targets children. Schools are for who? Kids, young kids, or people trying to learn something. Here's more images of the gay flags spread all over schools. You see the American flag twice. 2 gays and 2 American flags. Right? They're equal. Here she is. She's loving her pride. Right? She loves it so much she forgot to iron the flag and left the creases in it. Fatso, break out the iron before you display your flag. This guy's sure of it. He's sure. If you ask him, he's absolutely sure that he's breaking no rules and that he has a public right to display his political agenda. Right? It is politics. Vote Democrat because they'll bring back Roe v. Wade. Right? Roe v. Wade. Abortion and gay marriage, those people on the right are against us, and the flag represents the people that aren't against it. Right? There's political charge to everything, goddammit. Everybody, you can make that argument about anything. The problem is when you step out of your face and you go over to the fine firemen who are honoring their dead and saying that they're fascists. You fucking kooks. This guy, he's sure of it. Man. There's nothing wrong with this. I don't see any harm here at all in these expressions. The harm is when you step over to the other side of the aisle and tell that person that you're a fascist. You're fucking wrong. I hate you. You're the aggressor. Right? The woman. See this woman right here. Right? She doesn't realize that she is the fascist. She is stepping over into someone else's backyard and telling them what they can do and what they can't do. Right? You're just a councilwoman. You're just a fucking bean counter and sign the check, jerk off. So anyway, so not fascism, and this is protected free speech in America. Protected free speech in America. Look at these flags, but. Don't tell me when you see this one, that one equals fascism. Right. So is there any evidence? Does anybody see any evidence? Maybe I'm wrong. Is there any evidence of fascism in any of this stuff? I don't see it. Let's look at the markets. Ding, ding. Oh, my. So I think we're open. Yeah, 944. NASDAQ is up. NASDAQ up 93. And Dow down 96. How's Trump's stock doing? Oops. Trump's stock is down 5 points today, or 8%. Donald J. Trump, the stock, DJT that we've been following on this program since it came out last week, IPO'd at 50, went to 80, as high as 79.80, is now $56.62 a share. Rivian flat, down 2 cents. The NASDAQ is up. So what's driving it up? There you go. NVIDIA up 18 points today. Apple down $1. Amazon up $1.80. Meta, formerly Facebook, up 10. Microsoft up 4. So it looks like NVIDIA and Microsoft are carrying the NASDAQ up a little bit. And markets are very strong right now. You can't argue it. Boeing 191 finally stopped going down because their planes were falling out of the sky. Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, Moderna, the holy vaccine stocks, all in the red. Sorry, guys, not today. That shit is fascist, man. That shit is racist. Right? That shit is fascist, right? Pushing that shit, right? They were pushers. Right? It was the pushers are the fascists, really. What were they pushing? Remember in 2020 what they were pushing? Why their stock went to fucking Moderna went to 500? They're pushing the mRNA. Yeah, they're pushing this shit. Stocks went up, man. It's fascism, man. Is it? I don't know. I'm starting to fizzle here, so we're almost done. What else we got? So yeah, so markets are flat. You gotta at some point you have to call it, right? You gotta call it and say what the fuck is going on here, right? There's a flag, and the councilwoman is. Hours later comes show, right? So the decision was overthrown. There was one more sentence here that was important. I wish Rivera's office would have called us and said, hey, we want to learn about the flag and what it represents before they asked for it to be taken down, says the fireman. Oh, that's a good thing, right? Take it down, it's racist. You don't have to. I don't have to ask you what it means. I know what it means. It means political fucking stuff and fascism, damn it. See? I told you. These are the council people. These are the jerk-offs that run for office, get elected, and then they start acting on their own distorted realities. Rivera insisted to the Post that her office never contacted Ladder 11. So the whole story starts by some pedestrian, some guy who lives in the neighborhood, who's a radicalized individual who sees the flag as a political, something that's against his politics and fascist. Right? And then the person, the councilwoman, acted on it. Right? And she's saying, well, I acted on it, but I didn't really mean it. Rivera, a former, listen to who she is, right? The councilwoman is a former dues-paying member of the Democratic Socialists of America, who voted to defund the police by $1 billion in 2020. Now, she's still there, right? Defund the police. Right? She's still fighting a different war. She's fighting a different war, and she's fighting the wrong people. The firemen are not your enemy, right? Because guess what, Councilwoman? If you should be in a building one day and that shit is burning to the ground and you're stuck in there and the fire is under you and next to you and all around you and you're sitting in your closet waiting to die and some brave fucker comes barging in and pulls you out of that closet and takes you down a ladder, right? You'll be very grateful, right? Until then, you're just going to hate on them, right? So that's all I got for these people. Take it down, man. Take it down. Fascism. Let's let Elon Musk take us out. Elon Musk was criticized, if you can imagine, for wanting to get out of San Francisco because of the homeless problem. And Elon Musk even says in this clip that he wanted to turn one of his buildings into a homeless shelter, and he couldn't do it. Some council jerk-offs wouldn't let him do it. Listen to this, and I'll let you go. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yeah, I kind of like this office building, actually.
Okay, so you're not, because I know you've talked about there's been high levels of crime here. You actually said at one point.
I think we should do something about the crime.
Right.
People are dying.
Right.
We should take action.
You've also talked about how potentially, I think you might have been joking, but you could turn this into a homeless shelter. So
yes.
I guess the reason I'm asking is, you've
We tried to turn it into a homeless shelter, and the building owner rejected it.
You tried to.
Yeah, they won't let us.
Which bits have you tried to turn into a homeless shelter?
We're only using one of the buildings, and so the other building could be a homeless shelter.
And you've tried to.
Yeah, we would like to do it right now.
Really?
Yes.
And
No, they're the building owner.
they won't let you.
No. In fact, they wouldn't even let us take the W off the sign.
So how were you going to do that?
They're really quite,
What was
picky.
your plan for the shelter?
I don't know. We could just let people stay there. It's nice.
Right. Okay. I didn't know that.
They can bring their stuff, bring the tent, whatever.
Are you thinking about moving out of San Francisco?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. No, I mean, this place is nice, and I kind of like this office building, actually.
Okay, so you're not, because I know you've talked about there's been high levels of crime here. You actually said at one
Yeah, I
point
think we
you
should
thought,
do something about the crime.
Right. You've also
People are
talked,
dying.
Right.
We should take action.
You've also talked about how potentially, I think you might have been joking, but you could turn this into a homeless shelter. So
Yes.
I guess the